Now, the breakthrough could be so different that your customers may not even realize that it's helping them because it's new. That when I launched wireless sensors at some point, nobody understood what it was. Hybrid cars, electric cars didn't exist until they existed, but they were very, very well designed to satisfy a particular problem. So now, Mr. Customer, this is a brand new product. It didn't exist before.
Welcome to FutureFuzz, the digital marketing podcast.
Welcome into FutureFuzz, the digital marketing podcast. I'm Vince Quinn, and today we're talking about creating markets for new technologies. And joining us for that conversation is Hector Barresi. And I'm going to hope that I said that right, Hector. Out of 10, how did I do?
You did, Vince.
There we go. My Italian is shining through. My mother will be proud. So Hector is a fractional chief product officer at CXO Partners. And Hector, welcome to FutureFuzz.
Thank you for inviting me today, Vince. I'm very glad to be here.
And I'm happy to have you. So first off, just give people a little bit of the background of like day to day, the kind of work you're doing, the kinds of problems that you're solving.
Well, yeah, I've been with CXO Partners for about 3 years now. My previous career has been with large organizations like Honeywell, General Electric, Danaher. These are all huge multi-billion-dollar organizations focused on industrial B2B products and a lot of automation technology. And I've always been the person that was somehow the one in charge of creating new products using emerging technologies like AI, IoT, wireless, and things like this. And then I also had the challenge to introduce these new technologies to the market with all the challenges of launching products that customers sometimes didn't have any idea what these products were, what they could do for them. And I had to create sometimes those markets and put together value propositions and stories in order to make these products successful. Some of these products are multi-billion dollars right now, like Honeywell One Wireless, for example, that is one of the largest businesses they have.
Yeah. And I mean, which is such a fun and exciting thing to do day to day, to do that kind of work and solve these kinds of problems and be a part of it. So on some level, I'm just naturally jealous. But to get to understand this then a little bit, because obviously new technology happening all the time. I mean, we're in such a boom where every couple of weeks there's new things, new kinds of businesses, like it's all this evolution. So when people are starting to get into this mindset then of launching new technologies into the marketplace, I mean, what are like, let's say, good principles that people should have when they begin this kind of process?
What I do now with CXO Partners is I work with smaller companies like mid-market organizations in doing exactly that. They want me to help them with innovation. And sometimes the result is real breakthrough products that are really very different from anything that existed before. So in terms of the right way to do things, the way I do it is everything starts at the beginning. I mean, if you create such a great product, such a breakthrough that is really going to disrupt the market, it probably originated in some need, in some problem that you as a company identified maybe 18 months ago, right? When you speak with your clients, with your customers, whether it is a formal voice of the customer or informal, you have detected something, a problem, a pain point in that particular market. It really doesn't matter what market it is. And that triggered the idea to develop this new product, right? So you should not have created something that you thought that was a good idea without a foundation on an existing need in the market. Okay, that is fundamental. So that idea and further conversation with your customers, prototypes, minimum viable products, etc., beta test, ultimately ended with the product that you are launching, and supposedly is going to be breakthrough, successful product. So when you launch this product, you're going to be using the same story that you heard at the inception of your idea. What customers told you that were the pains: more information, more quality, sustainable processes, cost reductions, people problems, whatever problems drove your idea is what you're going to be using now to introduce the product. Now, the breakthrough could be so different that your customers may not even realize that it's helping them because it's new. It's like when I launched wireless sensors at some point, nobody understood what it was. Hybrid cars, Electric cars didn't exist until they existed, but they were very, very well designed to satisfy a particular problem. So now, Mr. Customer, this is a brand new product. It didn't exist before. I need to educate them. You are creating almost a new market. So the customers need to understand through education, through awareness, through demonstrations, through use cases, through ROI calculators, what this product is going to be doing for them, what problem is going to resolve better than any existing option they have today. They still have options today, good or bad. They may be happy or unhappy with what they have. The new product that you are launching addresses those problems, but you need to demonstrate that you do it better than anything before. The only way to do that, if you really learned from the initial beginning of the project what those problems were, from their customers' mouth, from their own words, so that you can now articulate those same words back to them when you're launching. That doesn't make sense what I'm trying
Yeah.
to
Oh no, it
communicate.
completely makes sense. Because if people don't know what the thing is or how it really solves the problem, it could be the greatest thing that's ever been made, but they just can't relate.
Yeah.
So
when I launched wireless sensor with Honeywell, there were no wireless in the refineries. There was no wireless in a chemical plant. Everything was wired, and they had to wire hundreds or thousands of miles of twisted cable in the refinery. Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on wires. And the sensor cost just a fraction of the wiring. So when I did my research, the customer said, I wish I had more data, Hector. To operate this refinery, I need 5 times more information, but the cost of wires limit me to get just the basic information that I need to measure and control this refinery. But I need 5 times more. What is stopping you, Mr. Customer, from doing that? The cost of wiring. So when we launched wireless, the story was about you can have 5 times more data, with 5 times less costs. And the most important thing of this for us was that we increased the price by 50% compared to any existing technology. So we were selling our sensors way more expensive because the return on the investment was so huge that the customers didn't care to pay. Right?
Yeah.
And competition was trying to figure out how to catch up while we were becoming the standard in wireless technologies at the time.
Yeah. And so you have this success, and when you talk about the track record of all these different kinds of technologies and bigger companies that you've worked with and things that you've launched, you've seen a lot of success, but I think obviously not everybody's successful. And when it comes to that side of are there things that people generally tend to get wrong in that kind of space? Like what are the issues you see when a product that might be a good product doesn't connect? Usually, why is that?
Yes. And here there is no magic. Each product requires, the commercial success of a product requires, first of all, to understand who is your target customer. Right? And at least in B2B, in industrial, you have multiple industries, oil and gas, beverage, water, etc. What is first of all, your industry? What's the segment within that industry? What is the issue that you're resolving? And how this product that you're launching addresses that better than anybody else. But if you're telling the best story, you have all the application notes, all the scripts, and all the objection handling ideas, and you're telling those to the wrong customer who doesn't care about any of that, you're going to fail. So identification of the right target is critical, understanding what their pains are, and then using the right message. Now, obviously, technology and markets have been evolving. And today you have buyers who are not the typical buyers from maybe 5 years ago. You are selling now to not just the user of an industrial product or even a consumer product, you're selling to IT. And IT is going to be curious about cybersecurity, firewalls, encryption, etc. And sometimes you have a great product, you convince your buyer, and IT is going to tell you, no, you cannot sell these products in this industry or in this market because you are not convincing me that this product is going to work within my IT standards and encryption and cybersecurity. So that is also part of understanding who are you selling to. So in summary, the right industry, the right market application, the right persona or personas with the right message. And if you change persona and industry with the same product, you need to adjust your message because most likely it's not going to work in the same way unless you adjust your story for the different personas.
FutureFuzz is sponsored by SalesSource, B2B pipeline management and sales growth for your business.
Taking it a little bit of a step further, because obviously as you're doing all of this and connecting with these different people and shaping the story and understanding the product and all the different ways to go and implement it, you have to do all of this, internally. You've got to organize all of these things and plan these strategies out and do all of that. And obviously people are looking to implement AI more than ever into everything that they do. So, I mean, for somebody who's had experience with creating markets for new technologies and now implementing AI as a new technology into this process, like what has that experience been like for you? And how are you going about doing that when you go and work with a business?
Yes, I think AI is one of those technologies, one of those ideas or paradigms that is going to turn around product marketing and product management because it provides this speed, this coverage, this depth that typically you can't obtain with the legacy technologies and people, right? So companies I'm working for are starting to use AI in different levels of utilization and depth and commitment. Some are more really just around using platforms like Perplexity for market research. That's a great platform for companies that want to understand different markets and eventually personas. Um, the ones that are going deeper, and we are trying to define some AI agents that would really start working much deeper into understanding at hyper personalized level what is the story that resonates the most based on the company, based on the intelligence that we can collect from the market. It is a company that is investing, divesting. It is a company that is hiring particular type of expertise. It is a company making acquisitions into particular industries. We want to use all the indicators that will allow us to fine tune the message around the product, but really super calibrated to have maximum resonance with the customer. This is where AI is helping us a lot to collect the data, sort it, allocate it to the different companies, to the different customers, and then customize the message as much as we can for maximum resonance or alignment. What problem do they have? What objective do they have? How do they measure success? And I'm going to bring here also the expression, what is the job to be done, which is a word that I use a lot, or
Phrase, yeah.
combination of words I use a lot. What is the job to be done by these companies? That they would hire this product for you to do that job. And AI is one of those key elements that can do that for many companies.
Yeah, and obviously, like I've seen it a lot from that messaging side, that storytelling side. There are ways where it can do a really good job. It does take some work occasionally to get it there, but when you're doing the proper background, and like that's how it is with a lot of this AI stuff, right? It's like you have to give it the quality of information and really shape it so strongly to get it to where you need it to be with the consistency of the quality of the output, all of the nuances of the specific things you're trying to execute and people you're trying to talk to. Like it takes a lot of work, but when and I guess, from your standpoint to naturally already be doing that kind of background with having all of these conversations and understanding like you said earlier, knowing the messaging that they're saying so you can say it back to them. I mean, I figure it's got to be a lot easier in that way. And like you're really getting that kind of speed and efficiency that you're looking for because the legwork really seems to support that.
It does. It does. It used to be in the old times, we would have PowerPoint slides, one for each customer. We would call it customer profile, and we would capture a lot of data about the customers and the size, the focus, the industry. We used a lot for strategic planning and go to market, and we decide the top 10, well, quite top 10 or maybe 50, because this as much as we could handle, physically, and to minimize the number of slides and to maximize the efficiency of the people that we have. So now, instead of 50 slides, you may have 5,000, right? Company names with all the profiles in them, sorted with the parameters that you define as relevant, and the message that is to be communicated. Now, this is a moment where you need to jump out of the AI wagon and being human again. What your customers are going to detect very quickly is if you start using AI to talk to them. If you, instead of picking out the phone or knocking the door, you start writing AI, emails to them, or you're putting messages or advertising that is clearly AI originated, and your customers will detect that. And at least in B2B, trust, you have to be a trusted advisor of your customer, apart from having a great product and consistently good quality, right? Price is not necessarily important, but trusted advisor or trusted provider, good quality and consistent quality and great products. So if the element number one, which is the trust, starts to disappear because now you are an AI
Yeah.
talking, that starts to diminish the credibility and the trust. So there is a limit for what AI can do for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to say that from the standpoint of when people can pick up on something being AI, there's some people who have just sort of accepted it, right? And they're just like, everything is AI and all this messaging is going to be, I'm going to get flooded with AI messaging for the rest of my life. So I know it's AI, but I don't care too much. And then there's other people that as soon as they hear it, they inherently get distracted, annoyed, frustrated, they'll have some kind of negative reaction because they know it is AI. Even in the case of let me give you a funny example. So listening to a lot of podcasts, right? I will have times where I listen to a show and the intro, they might say something like, and we're going to give you all of the business information you need without the fluff. And everything that ChatGPT puts out has fluff in it. So I immediately know that is okay, ChatGPT wrote that intro for them and it definitely could have been better. And that is distracting to me. It actually does take something away from the show. Even though it's a human saying it, I can tell that they're reading an AI thing, and the impact goes down a little.
Absolutely. And in my case, I get all these emails, and sometimes I see newsletters that read, in the extremely competitive red blood ocean market that we are all living. When it starts with phrases like that, in the competitive blah blah blah, this is written by AI, and I immediately delete those newsletters because I know that they have been written by AI. And that's not what our customers want. I mean, I can appreciate, Amazon does it, right? Amazon knows what products you buy, and it offers you other similar products or, adjacencies that they believe that can help you. And I appreciate that because sometimes they bring things to my attention that I was not aware of. You want to buy your own car, and you go and you go into an AI engine, and they ask you a bunch of questions and it recommends the right cars. I mean, there are areas where AI makes our lives simple or simpler. The same for our B2B customers. They appreciate that. They appreciate that we develop products that are customized to their needs, to their problems, with the assistance of AI. I think that's a smart thing to do and to communicate to them. You say, instead of considering 10 parameters that we used to, now we consider 150. And the combination of 150 allows us to create all these new products with different options and variations. And we know that out of the 150, there are 15 that address your needs. So this configuration addresses your needs.
Yeah.
And the customers appreciate that because we use AI for the right purpose.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge thing. I mean, that's really what it's all about. Because and the more conversations I'm having in this space with talking about different people around, just doing this show, honestly, being able to talk to so many people, you see all the different complications of the way that it's implemented and how people use it day to day, or how you get problems with churn, where when people leave a company, but it's been built on AI, but that employee built that bot in a specific way for them, and now a new person has to learn this bot that they didn't build, and nobody else knows how it works. And it's just there are all these these complications. So obviously doing it the right way, having these systems around it, being intentional and just baking it into your overall process in that way, like it makes a lot of sense. So for all the people, because as we approach the end here, for the people who would love to talk with you, connect with you, work with you, what is the best way to get in touch, Hector?
Well, there are a couple of ways to connect with me. One is probably the easiest one is to find Hector Barresi on LinkedIn and connect with me over LinkedIn and send me a direct message. I'm always talking with people over LinkedIn. I have like 8,000 followers or something like that.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way. Another way is to send me an email at hector.barresi, Barresi, at CXO.Partners. So that's the two ways to contact me. I'll be happy to answer. I answer all messages all the time.
All right. Well, yeah. So if you have any questions, follow-ups to anything you heard today, feel free to reach out to Hector. And Hector, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Appreciate the time.
My pleasure to be here. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in and making the choice to listen to this podcast. If you liked what you've heard today, please don't forget to subscribe.